Did you know that some countries in the world have completely closed their doors to American travelers in 2024 and 2025? Imagine planning the perfect vacation, an escape to picturesque landscapes, ancient wonders, or unique cultures, only to realize your destination is off limits. Why are these countries restricting Americans? What's behind the bans or severe travel warnings? Today, we're diving deep into the reasons why some nations have become inaccessible to US citizens. Each restriction reveals a fascinating story of global politics, safety concerns, or strained relations. And here's the best part: stay tuned until the end for a bonus fact about one surprising destination that might soon change its rules for Americans. You definitely won't want to miss this. Number 1. Russia. Let's begin our journey with Russia, a country of immense cultural and historical significance. From the grandeur of the Kremlin to the icy wilderness of Siberia, Russia has long been a bucket list destination for adventurous travelers. However, recent years have seen relations between Russia and the United States deteriorate dramatically. As a result, visiting Russia as an American has become increasingly risky. The primary reason for this shift? Political tensions. Strained diplomatic ties have resulted in mutual distrust between the two nations, and American travelers often find themselves under intense scrutiny. Russian authorities are known for their strict surveillance of foreign visitors, particularly Americans, whom they often view with suspicion. This can lead to intrusive questioning, monitoring, and in some cases, arbitrary detainment. The U.S. State Department has issued strong travel advisories, citing risks of arbitrary detention. Recent cases have seen Americans accused of espionage or detained for seemingly minor infractions. Adding to the complications, the U.S. Embassy in Moscow has significantly reduced its operations. This means that if you find yourself in trouble, assistance from American officials is extremely limited. Even minor infractions, such as an unintentional cultural faux pas, can escalate into serious issues. While Russia's stunning architecture and landscapes remain tempting, the risks involved make it one of the most challenging destinations for Americans in 2024 and 2025. 2. Venezuela. Venezuela's vibrant culture, lush rainforests, and iconic Angel Falls once made it a popular destination for global travelers. However, for Americans, this South American nation has become a high-risk zone. The root causes, decades of political turmoil and economic collapse, have turned Venezuela into one of the most dangerous places to visit. The streets of urban centers like Caracas are plagued by rampant crime, ranging from petty theft to violent robberies and kidnappings. Foreigners, especially Americans, are often viewed as high-value targets due to perceived wealth, according to the Council of Foreign Relations. But the risks in Venezuela aren't just limited to crime. Political hostility toward the United States has created an environment where Americans can face detainment or harassment simply for their nationality. What makes matters worse is the crumbling infrastructure. Hospitals lack basic supplies, and law enforcement is stretched thin. In case of an emergency, help is often unavailable, leaving travelers vulnerable. Despite Venezuela's natural beauty and cultural richness, the risks far outweigh the rewards for American visitors in the foreseeable future. 3. Iraq. Iraq is a country of unparalleled historical and cultural significance. Known as the cradle of civilization, it was home to Mesopotamia, where writing, cities, and the rule of law first emerged. Ancient cities like Babylon, Ur, and Nineveh attract scholars and history enthusiasts worldwide, offering glimpses into humanity's earliest achievements. Despite its rich heritage, Iraq remains a perilous destination for Americans in 2024 and 2025. Why is Iraq so dangerous? Decades of conflict, including wars, sanctions, and insurgencies, have left the nation in turmoil. The United Nations reports ongoing threats from terrorism, armed conflict, and kidnappings. Extremist groups, such as ISIS remnants, continue to operate in parts of the country, and militant factions often target Westerners. Outside these hotspots, criminal organizations and rogue militias pose additional risks, making travel even in quieter regions unpredictable. Another challenge is Iraq's struggling infrastructure. Years of instability have severely weakened healthcare, law enforcement, and emergency response systems. For foreign travelers, this means limited access to help during a crisis. Even minor issues, such as illness or accidents, can escalate without adequate support. For Americans, the risks are particularly pronounced due to strained U.S.-Iraq relations. While Iraq's archaeological wonders like the ziggurat of Ur and the ruins of Babylon are extraordinary, the security challenges make it a no-go zone. Until stability improves and international safety protocols are in place, travelers are advised to admire Iraq's treasures from afar. 4. Iran. Iran is a country of remarkable beauty and cultural depth. Its stunning mosques with intricate tile work, ancient sites like Persepolis, and lively bazaars filled with vibrant goods make it a bucket list destination for many travelers. However, for Americans, visiting Iran in 2024 or 2025 is fraught with significant risks. The strained political relationship between the US and Iran, rooted in decades of tension, has created a precarious environment for American travelers. One of the most alarming risks is arbitrary detention. CNN reported that multiple US citizens have been detained in Iran on charges such as espionage or anti-state activities, often based on vague or unsupported allegations. These arrests are not only stressful but can result in lengthy imprisonment without fair legal recourse. American visitors are also subjected to strict monitoring. Iranian authorities closely watch foreign nationals, scrutinizing their movements, interactions, and even seemingly innocent activities like photography. Something as simple as taking a picture near a government building or engaging in casual conversations with locals could lead to questioning or worse. Moreover, the US has no direct diplomatic presence in Iran, leaving travelers with minimal consular support in emergencies. Without this safety net, resolving issues such as detentions or legal disputes can become nearly impossible. While Iran offers a wealth of cultural and historical attractions, the risks for US citizens, including detention, surveillance, and limited assistance, make it a high-risk destination. For now, Iran's wonders may be better appreciated through stories and photos rather than first-hand visits. 5. Afghanistan. Afghanistan's stunning mountains, ancient cities, and rich cultural history once drew adventurous travelers seeking unique experiences. However, the country has transformed into one of the most dangerous places for Americans, as Business Insider reported. Following the withdrawal of US military forces, Afghanistan has become increasingly unstable under Taliban rule. The risks are immense and widespread. Terrorism, kidnappings, and armed conflict are prevalent across the country. Extremist groups such as ISIS-K and Al-Qaeda operate freely, often targeting foreigners, especially Americans, who are viewed as high-profile targets. Unlike other nations where dangers are confined to specific regions, Afghanistan's risks are everywhere, from rural villages to urban centers. Even basic activities like moving between cities carry the potential for deadly encounters. Making the situation worse is Afghanistan's lack of functioning infrastructure. Emergency services are virtually non-existent, leaving travelers with no way to access medical care or assistance during a crisis. Hospitals and clinics that do exist are under-resourced and often inaccessible due to ongoing violence. The Taliban's strict enforcement of their interpretation of laws adds another layer of danger for Western travelers, particularly women, who face severe restrictions. Coupled with the absence of diplomatic support for Americans, the risks are insurmountable. In 2024 and 2025, Afghanistan remains a country where travel for Americans is not only unsafe, but virtually impossible. Before we move on to the next countries, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue creating engaging and informative content like this. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our updates. Now, let's get back to the list. 6. North Korea. North Korea is a land of intrigue, with its rich history, unique traditions, and highly controlled society. However, for Americans, it's a country entirely off-limits. A US travel ban implemented in 2017 remains in place due to severe risks, including the possibility of arbitrary detention and extreme legal consequences. The ban was reaffirmed in recent years to protect American citizens, as the dangers of traveling to North Korea are particularly pronounced. One of the most alarming aspects of North Korea is its opaque legal system. Laws are rigidly enforced, and even minor actions can result in harsh penalties. For example, leaving your guide's site, taking an unapproved photo, or unintentionally disrespecting local customs could lead to forced labor or long-term imprisonment. BBC reports highlight cases where Americans were detained for seemingly trivial offenses, often used as political leverage during diplomatic negotiations. North Korea's surveillance is another challenge. Foreign visitors are constantly monitored, with their movements, conversations, and activities closely scrutinized. For Americans, this level of suspicion is heightened, as the regime often views U.S. citizens as adversaries. While North Korea's culture and historical significance, such as the demilitarized zone and Pyongyang's landmarks, may intrigue travelers, the risks far outweigh any potential rewards. With no U.S. diplomatic presence in the country, there's little support for Americans who encounter problems. For now, North Korea remains a closed and perilous destination for U.S. citizens, and this is unlikely to change in the foreseeable future. 7. Yemen. Yemen, once a hidden gem of the Arabian Peninsula, is a country of stunning beauty and deep cultural heritage. Its ancient cities like Sana'a, with its UNESCO-listed architecture and breathtaking landscapes, including vast deserts and rugged mountains, have long attracted curious travelers. However, years of civil war have turned Yemen into one of the most dangerous places in the world, particularly for Americans. According to recent reports, armed groups and terrorist organizations such as Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, AQAP, and Houthi rebels operate freely across the country. These factions have created a lawless environment where kidnappings, violent attacks, and bombings are common. Foreigners, especially Americans, are viewed as high-value targets, increasing the risk of abductions for ransom or political leverage. Adding to the dangers is the collapse of Yemen's infrastructure. Hospitals are severely under-resourced, transportation is unreliable, and basic services like clean water and electricity are scarce. The absence of U.S. consular support means that if Americans face emergencies, there is little to no assistance available. 8. Libya. Libya, a country once known for its stunning Mediterranean coastline and ancient ruins, has become a dangerous no-go zone for Americans. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has been embroiled in ongoing conflict. Various armed groups and militias continue to battle for control, leading to a fragmented and unstable environment. For American travelers, the risks in Libya are severe. Terrorism, kidnappings, and violent attacks by militia groups are rampant. These groups often target Westerners, viewing them as high-value hostages or political leverage. In addition, Libya's infrastructure has been severely damaged by years of conflict, leaving essential services like healthcare, law enforcement, and transportation in disarray. Although Libya is home to incredible historical sites, such as the ancient city of Leptis Magna and the Roman ruins at Sabratha, the extreme security risks make it an unwise destination for American tourists. Until the situation stabilizes, Libya remains too dangerous for safe travel. 9. Syria. Syria, once a jewel of ancient civilization, with its rich history and stunning landmarks, is now synonymous with conflict and devastation. Civil war has torn the country apart, creating widespread destruction and leaving many areas unsafe for travelers. For Americans, the risks are particularly high, with terrorism, kidnappings, and factional violence posing constant threats. Even with careful planning, navigating Syria remains extremely dangerous. Numerous militant groups and extremist factions continue to fight for control, making travel unpredictable. Many regions are controlled by groups hostile to foreigners, and kidnapping for ransom or political leverage is not uncommon. In addition, basic services such as healthcare and law enforcement are virtually non-existent, making it difficult to get help in an emergency. Syria's ancient sites, including the ruins of Palmyra and the city of Damascus, still captivate history enthusiasts, but the severe security risks make it impossible to enjoy them safely. In 2024 and 2025, Syria remains a no-go zone for American travelers. 10. Somalia. Somalia is a country with a rich culture and beautiful coastlines along the Indian Ocean. However, decades of political instability, civil war, and lawlessness have transformed it into one of the most dangerous places in the world. For American travelers, the risks are particularly high, including piracy, terrorism, and violent crime. Extremist groups like Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda affiliate, operate widely throughout the country, carrying out attacks on both locals and foreigners. These groups target Westerners, making Americans prime targets for kidnappings, ransom, and violence. Somalia's lack of a stable government and functioning institutions has left its infrastructure in ruins. Emergency services, healthcare, and law enforcement are virtually non-existent, making it nearly impossible to receive help in case of danger. The risks in Somalia are immense and widespread. For U.S. citizens, the dangers far outweigh any potential rewards. As promised, here's your bonus fact. Did you know that Cuba, once a highly restricted destination for Americans, might soon see relaxed travel rules? While the embargo still exists, recent discussions have hinted at potential changes that could open doors for US citizens to explore this vibrant and culturally rich island. If you've ever dreamed of visiting Havana's colorful streets or lounging on pristine beaches, this could be your chance. Stay tuned for updates. If this list left you speechless, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating travel content. And remember to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Speaking of danger zones, our next video explores the 10 most dangerous cities in the United States where you can be killed. Until next time, stay safe, travel smart, and keep exploring responsibly. See you in the next one.